Something I love about Knott's Berry Farm is that it seems like no matter how many times I come here, I'm a season pass holder, and like no matter how many times I come, I somehow manage to mess up trying to park my car. Like, I can't figure out how to get into the parking lot. Like, I show up, I follow the arrows, I follow where the other cars are going. Somehow I end up on the other side of the park. I have to take a lap. I have to try again. And the person in front of me did the exact same thing. So I just followed them on the second lap because I was like, at least if I look dumb, we're going to look dumb together. Because my goal, the parking lot that I would prefer to park in, if I could figure out how to get into it, is the one over by the hotel. That's where I used to park last year when we were going to the foodie events when the park was closed. And I've been trying to get into that parking lot. That's like my grail parking lot. And I always end up over here by Soak City. So if you know how to get into the lot over there that I want to be in, maybe you could draw me a map or something, explain it to me like I'm 5 years old, because I can't figure it out. Anyway, I'm here today for the Boysenberry Festival. I decided at the last minute I was going to come today. It's a Tuesday, so I'm hoping it's not going to be too crowded. It's Tuesday afternoon. I got my tasting card. I purchased it ahead of time. And I wanted to mention that this, usually I'll go over the menu before I head in there. I don't think I really need to this time because I think all of the items I'm getting, we get 6 tastes. I think in the past it's been 5, and so this year we get 6, so we get to try 6 items with our tasting card, and I think all 6 of them are like the best ones and also kind of the only ones that you might want to get. There are a couple things that I'm not getting, like there's a salad that you have to take off like shrimp and other things to make it vegan, and I feel like it's not worthwhile. They also always have elote, which like they put the butter and cheese and all of this stuff. You have to get it without that, so it's just corn on the cob. I feel like that is probably not worth it. So basically I'm going to get everything on the menu that I think is worth getting, aside from those 2 items, and then aside from beer, wine, and other beverages. There is one beverage that I am going to get that's like a deconstructed lemonade, they're calling it. I'm looking forward to trying that. But yeah, there's a bunch of beverages and then those other 2 things, and then that's pretty much the whole menu. So I'm going to put the menu in the description if you want to check out what else they have. And I think that's all I need to say. I've had a lot of caffeine today. Sorry if I'm rambling. Let's go to Knott's. So I consider myself someone who's pretty familiar with the workings of theme parks and theme park festivals, but today I made a mistake, and it was on me. I did not understand how the Boysenberry Festival worked this year. So last year was my first time coming, I think, that I know of, unless I came when I was a kid or something, to the Boysenberry Festival at Knott's Berry Farm, and it was when the park was still closed. So you bought a tasting card like this. I don't remember how much it was, maybe $65 or something. I think the different festivals had different prices. But you bought your tasting card. It included admission. The rides were not operating. All you got was to walk around and eat and shop. And your tasting card came with like 5 tastes that you they scanned your QR code, and you got like a pretty generous snack size portion. It wasn't like a full meal, but I would say it was bigger than like Disneyland when they have their food festivals and you just get a couple little bites. Like, it was a good size portion, and by the end of the day I was like pretty full. Usually like by 5th taste I either took it home or just didn't finish it all. Today I made a mistake because I came here thinking, I bought my tasting card and I came here thinking that I was going to use all of these tastes similar to last time and eat 6 things all in one day. So I showed up at the first booth and I ordered 2 things. They had vegan Boysenberry Meatballs with mashed potatoes, and then they had sausage, Beyond Sausage, I think it's got to be Beyond Sausage, with polenta, Boysenberry polenta. And I was like, I'm gonna get both of those. They're at the same booth, easy. I can take pictures, I can tell you guys about both of them just in one go. And they brought me out the first plate, and it was the meatballs, and it looked like a full-size dinner. It was 6 meatballs. I just had to count how many I have left. I have 4 left. 6 meatballs and a good size of mashed potatoes. And I was like, oh boy, what did I get into? Like, this is gonna be way too much food just for like, the first 2 was gonna be too much food. So they brought out the second one, and it was 3 Beyond sausages with polenta. 3 sausages. Like, even when I'm at home and I make Beyond hot dogs, like Beyond sausages, and eat them as hot dogs, I'll maybe eat 1 and be full, maybe 1.5. I might try to eat 2, but I cannot. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know if and I was thinking, like, well, maybe they don't know what vegans eat and what our portion sizes are gonna be, and like, I don't know. They're like, they don't know how fake meat works. They're like, well, we'll just give them 3 since it's not real meat. But they have a non-vegan version, basically, of the same thing. I don't know about the polenta, but it's called a sausage trio with peppers. So this is like the standard portion size. And I was like, so I'm sitting there by myself eating my 2 dinners, and it occurred to me, it took me quite a while before it occurred to me that this tasting card doesn't have to be used all in one day like the previous festivals, because the festivals, the tasting card was also your admission. This year that is not the case. Admission is separate. The tasting card is only your food, and it can be used throughout the boysenberry season. So I'll give you my review in a second. I just had to, I got to my car, I brought leftovers. The last taste I got was this lemonade, and I pulled over, I unwrapped the straw, and I went to stick it in, and there's no hole. So this is the Deconstructed Lemonade. I got it. It's like at the very back of the park. If you go a little bit past the inner tube river rafting, Meryl Streep, Kevin Bacon ride, you'll find it there. By the Pony Express ride. It's pretty good. I'll say it's not quite what I expected, like Deconstructed Lemonade. It's just a lemonade with like some berries in it. I was like not sure if it's going to be something I eat with a spoon or if it's going to be a drink. It's basically just lemonade with berries, but it's good. So yeah, I super messed up because one of the things I was really looking forward to doing today was going on at least a couple of rides. It's been a while since I've been to a theme park. I really needed this break today, and I really wanted to go on some rides, but I also knew, or I thought, that I had to eat 6 things while I was here. So I was like, I better start eating as soon as I get here. So I ordered my 2 dinners, and then I was like, should I throw away what I don't finish? Like, it's kind of a lot of food. This is what I ended up with, a sausage and 4 meatballs. So I decided I would take it with me to go, which meant that I was walking through the whole park carrying this plate of meatballs, which I already feel kind of awkward because a lot of I'm still wearing my face mask, by the way, because I'm self-employed, and because if I get sick, my business shuts down, and we don't want that. I am still wearing my mask like as much as possible. So not only am I like the only person here walking around, well, there's a few people, but one of the only people here walking around wearing a mask, I'm also the only person walking around carrying a plate of meatballs. And so I ended up not even going on any rides because I was too busy babysitting my meatballs. So like I said, I think today was a little bit of a theme park fail. I think if I was coming here to eat today, like, my choices would not have been 50 pounds of Beyond Meat. And I should say, though, I'm not trying to criticize KNOTT's. Both of the meals were pretty good. I approached it. I did not understand the assignment. Let me show you some more video or photos of what my food actually looked like before I started eating it. And I'll give you some reviews. So the Boysenberry Meatballs, they had Boysenberry Meatballs during the last Boysenberry Festival, and they served it with cauliflower rice. This was an actual tasting portion. It was like a little, tray, a little rectangular tray. And I want to say last time it was like 3 meatballs or 4 meatballs, and I think they were smaller than this. So these were pretty good. I kind of knew what I was expecting, and I knew that I really liked them last time. I think I said in my last video that if I had known how much I was going to like them, I would have ordered it twice. So this time, these were like, they were still pretty good. The sauce was good. It's like a barbecue boysenberry sauce. The mashed potatoes were pretty good too. They were a little bland, and they had like a little bit of a funny flavor. I want to say it was like maybe soy milk or something like that, whatever non-dairy milk they use. It was like you could kind of taste it. Didn't love that, but they were still pretty good. So I was a little bit creeped out by these meatballs at first. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that they made a mistake. When I went to order, the person who was helping me, I said, so there's 2 vegan options here, right? And he said yes. And I could tell like by his face that he knew what I was talking about. And so I felt confident that at least I understood that part correctly, and I was going to get the right thing. But then I sat down to eat them, and the meatballs, they had this like tough, like, you know how meat is kind of granular? I don't know if that's the best word to describe it, but it's the little bits, and they're a little bit chewy and tough. It was kind of like that, and it creeped me out a little bit. I thought I got the wrong thing. I thought that it was actual meat. And so I kept tasting it, and I smelled it, and it definitely had that Beyond Meat smell and aftertaste. So that kind of put my mind at ease, but the texture was still creeping me out. And I think what happened, because this has happened to me before with like Carl's Jr. Beyond Burgers, like it's got that little like sponginess to it, the little bits. And so I think these meatballs were probably baked, and I think they might have been baked like a little bit on the longer side. They didn't taste like overcooked or like burnt or anything like that, but I think they maybe were baked a little bit longer, and I think that gave them more of that tough texture. And I don't think it was even bad. Like, I've had Beyond Meat that was overcooked and it would just like wasn't right. I don't see it being a bad thing, but it was creepy. It was too realistic. It also had bits of, I think, maybe parsley and onion and little bits of cheese, which that was another thing that confused me, because it wasn't listed on the menu that it was going to have cheese in it, but it did say vegan. So I emailed, actually, there's like I'm not sure what their job title is, but it's someone that is in charge of food at KNOTT, who I've emailed before and was very helpful. So I emailed them again to ask about the what kind of cheese it is. It almost tasted like chow cheese, but I'm not really sure. So I'll get that information, and I don't know, I'll either put it on the screen if I get it soon, or I will put it in the description, and I'll probably write up a blog post. But now that this is going to take multiple trips to eat all of this food, I don't know when the post is going to go up. So then the sausages, and like by the way, like it was hard. I was texting a couple of people about this as it was happening, and it was hard to just not be sitting there laughing at the ridiculousness of sitting there in front of a plate of meatballs and sausages. Like, I literally felt like a little kid who was like not allowed to leave the dinner table until they finished their food. Like I was being punished in some way. Like, I'm like, well, I ordered this, I have to sit here and eat it now. So the sausages were pretty good. I think I maybe liked the sausages just slightly better, aside from the creepiness factor of the meatballs. The sausages almost had like a little bit of the boysenberry polenta, but then the sausages had like a kind of a sweet flavor to them also. It almost reminded me of like almost like a subtle curry flavor. And then it also had grilled peppers and onions. And if you saw one of my previous videos where I got the vegan hot dog at KNOTT, the peppers and onions were like steamed or boiled or something. They were kind of like a limp, like unpleasant texture. These ones are actually pretty good, so I think they're cooking them in a different method. I think they're grilled. So I don't know, I feel like if I had to pick one, if I was coming and just ordering one plate of food like a normal person, I would maybe prefer the meatballs, but they're both pretty good. I think if you're coming with someone and you want to get both and share, that's a good approach. But if you're coming to Boysenberry Festival and you're only coming for one visit, you probably don't need the tasting card unless you're coming with like 3 people. So like I said, I'm gonna try to come back, and obviously I have my 3 tabs left, so I'm gonna try to use the rest of these, and hopefully soon, so I can put together a blog post. But like I said, I will link in the description the full menu. They also have this QR code if you do end up getting a tasting card. This takes you to the dietary guide that has like vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free. I think they have like nut and shellfish allergies and like some other stuff too. Is that all I have to say? I think that's all I have to say about Boysenberry Festival Day 1. I didn't even get any good b-roll or anything like to show you what the park looked like, because I was carrying my meatballs. So I don't know. Next time I'll come back with a better game plan and I'll make an actual video. And so if you end up going to Boysenberry Festival, in the meantime though, let me know what vegan items you tried, and I'll see you next time.